you very much. I was sitting on my back patio one day, and I was thanking God for all the many blessings that I have received. Being a 15-year recovering addict, I was so grateful for having my life back. And as I sat there, I said, God, this is great, but I did not feel like I had fulfilled my destiny or my purpose in life. And I asked God, what do you want me to do now? And in a very soft voice, I heard, tell the story. And I said, oh my God, I know you didn't tell me to write a book. Because first of all, I only have a high school diploma. My spelling's poor and my grammar's bad. And how could I pull that off? Well, one thing about it is that I know God's voice because I had conversations with God as a child. When I was a little kid, my mom would come to me and say, son, who are you talking to? And I said, Mom, I'm talking to God. And the conversations that I was having with God then, it really didn't mean much to me, but that was the only place that I could find peace or someone to make me feel better. My dad was an alcoholic, and there was a lot of violence in my house. I mean, there was one time, and it's in the book, there was one time where my dad took a revolver, spit the gun, and put it to my mom's head and pulled the trigger. But through the grace of God, the gun didn't go off. So right after that, he put the gun in the ceiling of the house and shot a hole in the top of the house. Now, I'm about 7 years old, and I'm experiencing all this. And after that, it went on until it got so bad where it was a life or death situation for my mother. And we had to move, and I have two brothers and one sister, so we had to move. That's kind of how I wind up in Atlanta, because if I didn't leave Carrollton, Georgia, my dad was going to kill my mother. So when we get to Atlanta, Georgia, we move into the ghetto because my mom, didn't even have a high school diploma, which was a cafeteria lady, and she couldn't get a job, so I wound up living in the ghetto in Atlanta, Georgia. I was introduced to drugs at a very early age. At about 13, 14 years old, I caught a ride home with some friends, and they sparked up a joint, marijuana, and they passed it around the car, and at that time I had been through so much as a child, I smoked it. But I didn't really get high, and I didn't die from it, so I said, you know what, that wasn't such a big deal. So later on in life, at about 14 years old, my mother remarried. Of course, she divorced my dad, and she remarried, and my stepfather didn't care anything about us as kids. He was more concerned about the relationship with my mother. So he showed us no love. So at the age of 14, I moved back to Carrollton, Georgia, and I was living in the house that we had there. My dad had went on and moved in with his girlfriend. So at 14 years old, I was living by myself in the house, raising myself. So that's when I really got involved with drugs and alcohol. And by the age of 19, I was introduced to crack cocaine. I spent 9 years on crack cocaine. I've been to jail over 15 times. I've been shot and stabbed. And, so when God gave me the assignment to tell the story, it wasn't about me telling the story to try to sell millions of books. It was about me trying to tell the story to help some suffering addict or some suffering person make a change in life. Because life is about the choices you make. On January 5th, 1995, I chose life over death. I chose to go into rehab, and at that point, I had to move on with my life. But, life is good today. Life is about the choices you make. The story is here. You can read it for yourself. I am grateful. I'm a 15-year recovering addict. I have a beautiful family now. I'm a successful businessman, and life is good, all through the grace of God. The purpose of this book is to glorify God. And what He'll do for me, He'll do for you. Thank you very much.